if you don't pay us the 100 naira on your loan, we are going to charge you 45 naira. And you are like, you know what? I don't get 100 naira to pay. I'm not even making 100 naira. Okay, charge me. I'll pay you 45 naira. Meanwhile, you are only making 50 naira every month. Your 10,000 loan is still there. You are not paying anything back. But you have agreed that, you know what? Oh yeah, take 45 naira from my 50 naira every month. You are now left with 5 naira. So how would you now take care of your bills when all you are getting now is 5 naira from it all? So you can then probably just go on and borrow more. You get that now and say, you know what? Can you give me another 2,000 naira? Alaye, you already owe 10,000 naira. You are not even paying that. I know, but I need money. So, okay, don't worry. We'll give you 2,000 naira, but the interest is 30% interest. So that 2,000 naira, you are going to use that to pay 2,600 naira. Yeah, I know. Plus the 10,000. That's 12,600. Yeah, I know. If you don't pay us, this time around, you will be paying us 120 naira every month. I know. But if you don't pay us the 120 naira, we will be taking 47 naira from your money. It's okay, take it. This is the kind of economic arrangement that these guys did, right? So the foreign reserve that is so low means that Nigeria is in minus. The rating is a minus. So Nigeria is a high risk when it comes to loan, right? I mean, to giving them loans. So it's like Nigeria is a high risk country. There's possibility that everybody that gives them loan will lose their money. But they still give them anyway. Because somehow, Nigeria have something the lenders could probably take. And if we want to take anything from you, this is another terrible deal about your foreign reserve. Rather than possibly pay, for example, let's say, oh, hang on, what is this? That's a special rock from my country, from my house. Sorry, my backyard. Oh, special rock. That's a very precious one. Oh. And you see this rock, if you want to buy it in the international distance, and this rock is worth 2,000 naira. Remember, you have a debt of 12,000 naira already, right? But you see this rock, this one is like 2,000 naira. So that means if you have a 6 of this rock, you can pay all your debts if they buy it at the right price, 2,000 naira per one. And then they will be like, but we can't pay you 2,000 naira. You owe us money. You can't give us the same price that everybody will buy it. Okay. So meanwhile, you see this rock, now only us go buy them from you. So what that means is that we'll buy it from you for 50 naira. 50 naira is too small now. It's 50 naira. Do you want the loan or you don't want the loan? Yeah, we want the loan. Do it for 100 naira now. It's 2,000 naira per one. No, you can't sell it. We need you to now devalue the price of this rock. So you devalue it to 100. Okay, we'll buy it 100 naira. You devalue it to 100 naira. Because Nigeria is so corrupt and that these criminals have nothing to lose. They'll say, okay, we'll give it to you for 100 naira. So now you go back to your country and tell everybody that this your rock, even though it is 2,000 naira in the normal original price, so now 100 naira, we could get them from you. And we'll take it anytime we want. So, okay, yeah, that's fine. We are okay. Can you give us another loan? Can you give us like maybe 5,000 naira? You still want to collect more loan? So, yeah, because we don't get money. That's how they have been negotiating your economy with the lenders. And who are the lenders? West. Chinese, who also came to come and take their own from Nigeria. They are not even giving Nigeria conditions of go and devalue your naira. But this America, this Britain, and all these lenders, this Europe and all that, they always tell them go and devalue your naira. You cannot put your naira at the same par. Even though you are the one with the precious stone, you are the valuable. They are just printing paper. Now paper, then just the print carry give you. Here you get. But these criminals are okay with that. Because number one, your savings is in red. You are an high risk to them. You are a very big high risk to them. So Tinubu and his gang, what are they doing? They decided to start cooking the book. And that is why, number one, Nigeria is not producing more. Not that, okay, Nigeria have started producing all the ships that brings things to Nigeria. Nigeria is like a dumping ground. They will come to Nigeria. All the importers, they will dump them in Nigeria, and all the vessels, they will leave empty. The cargo planes that brings in stuff to Nigeria, once they dump everything, they leave empty. They are not taking anything away. So now say, okay, the ships that are leaving Nigeria, they are loading Nigeria-made shoes, Nigeria-made, product that they are going to go and sell in Europe. That will hand Nigeria euros. Or these ones, the one that came from America, they are loading them with Nigerian goods, Nigeria-made goods, to go and sell them in America. No. So Tinubu and gang decided to now kind of start pushing the narrative and say, oh, we are no longer using 97% of our income to service debt anymore. It is only 64%, 65% we are now using. But there is no evidence of that. Just 3 months ago, in 3 months, this past 3 months, they said that Nigeria spent 4.4 trillion naira servicing debt. When we asked that, how much did Nigeria make during that same period? Very easy. Nigeria didn't make anything other than they printed money to share. That's what they did. That's the only evidence that is available. They printed money to share, okay? And Nigeria is not earning any forex whatsoever. And if Nigeria is earning any forex, they should be able to tell us from what? From what? Or is it from the NNPC? Huh? Oh, okay. If it is from the NNPC, which I know is not right, if it's from the NNPC, that means the money they are already, you know that the states in Nigeria, since Tinubu said subsidy was gone, the states in Nigeria, they are collecting more allocation than before. Sure, you get. So that was supposed to be like Nigeria sold crude oil and the money was given to them. And if we exchange the dollar to naira, like a go boy, sure, you get. And that is money they are sharing. If that is the case, then which money are they putting in the foreign reserve? Question, no, just ask questions. But they were not, for any reason, showing any of this book. There is no evidence. There is no document, just word of mouth. And they are pushing it. We are now spending 65%. We are now, that's why they are pushing for more taxes. Who are you taxing? People that have no jobs? Or businesses that are already like, dying and living? Where exactly do you think they are making money from? When it is on record that they've printed over 22 trillion naira. 22 trillion naira in the last 1 year. 22 trillion naira printed money, ways and means from the central bank, given to Tinubu's government to share. When Bokwari printed 27.5 trillion naira in 8 years, it was around the time that NNPC stopped remitting money to Nigeria Federation account. And to cover up for that, Emefiole was printing money. And if you convert the exchange rate of that time to how much money the Bokwari printed, that was $64 billion. $64 billion. That is the money. And it is not that, we're saying, what did they use the money for? Bokwari shared the money to cover up for what should have been the remittances, as well as the taxes collected, remittances from the NNPC. So they are now saying that Nigeria's foreign reserve is now $40 billion. Ask them questions and ask them for evidence. There is no evidence. So my own concern is that, Alaye, these guys may have depleted the same foreign reserve to possibly near zero. And to make you feel like instead of any of this Nigerian media to dig and investigate if truly they are remitting any money into the foreign reserve, right? They are helping them to spread the lie, the lamba, the propaganda of 40 billion. The question is from what? Because maybe in another few months now, Kasala go bust. The shit will hit the fan. Everybody go now, they hear say, Omo, na genje, na lie. And they will be like, what happened to the foreign reserve of Nigeria? How come it is not reflecting in your economy? It should be reflecting. Your Naira should possibly have gained some strength. Abi, if you save more money that way, it should help reflect on your Naira. The Nigerian, Nigerian Central Bank would have some dollars too, but they don't have. They are begging us in the diaspora. The last time they went to go and collect $500 million, they raised the bond. And you know what they do with the bond? The bond is a very quick cash, right? And they will use the crude oil. Yeah, the crude oil as collateral. So when they raise bond, they say, we need 500 million. So if you have $10,000, if $500 million, so if you have where there are, some of these, some of them actually do buy it that way, right? So their bond is like saying, we need $500 million. And that $500 million is like a quick cash. So I can put 10,000 bond. I will get, and they will tell you that it is 30%, 30% interest. So in a year, so if I put $10,000, I'm going to get $13,000 in return. So that simply means that if you put 1 million, you're going to get $1.3 million, $300,000 quick profit. But they collected the bond, they've collected the bond. And in the next few months now, the bond will mature. So that simply means the $500 million they collected, they will need to give people 650 million or so back. So that's an extra $150 million. So that's what they will share to everybody who kind of bought the bond. But what happened to the bond money? They don't collect it, they don't share them. Crude oil sale is what they will use to pay everybody back within a year. Right? So they are everywhere. They said they needed us in the diaspora, me and you, to give money back and remit money. Don't send your money through the transfer apps anymore. Send the money through the central bank so that they can give your family and relatives in Nigeria Naira. Okay? And then that your pounds, that's your euro, that's your dollars. All of them will now go to them so that they can have liquid cash, liquid forex. They are doing all of that as we speak, begging people to send money through them. They are begging people to please come and deposit your dollars in their domiciliary account. Stop putting your dollars at home. As if to say, people, now, me and you get dollars, where will they put for house? If you are living in Nigeria, how many Nigerians have dollars that they are putting at home? I mean, they are saving at home. But it's a policy of Tinubu's regime, asking people to come and to bring out their dollars because they need dollars. Then they are pushing this fraudulent agenda with no evidence that they have saved $7 billion or $6 billion in the last 17 months. Nigerian foreign reserve is now $40 billion, but there is no evidence. Nigerian naira continue to crash, assuming they have that kind of money, right? That simply means that the World Bank, the IMF, and the rest of them, they will probably automatically adjust the conditions they gave to them to go and devalue their naira. And that simply means, right, it will reflect in your naira dollar exchange. Also, possibly reflect a little bit on your economy too. In your economy, but it's not. So that's what we call the voodoo economy, cooking the book, lies. And I expect those who probably have, those who have economic knowledge or what have you, to help you. So that takes us back to the beginning, when I told you that you see Tinubu and his gang, then go feed you with propaganda. Sote Emma Beresini Yokun, now go they get pot belly. That when people ask you, about you know they get pot belly. Now shock up be this, I'll be waiting. Say, my brother, propaganda will the chop. We chop propaganda in the morning, we chop propaganda in the afternoon, we chop propaganda in the evening, and even in our dreams, we see the chop propaganda because Tinubu and his gang, they go feed you with as much as possible. If you question them, they go say you be enemy of Nigeria. Bring evidence, there is no evidence. You go explain tire, there will be no evidence. So I have challenged them, or I am challenging them. Because if you have more forex, it reduces, supposedly reduce the pressure on your own local currency. That is what the economy is. Oh, that's what we were taught. At least I did little economics back then. I may not even remember all the terminologies and all that anymore. But today, things are tougher because what they are feeding you, they are lies. And this is the height of it. Nigeria was generating over 8,000 megawatts of electricity 9 years ago. 9 years after, Nigeria is struggling to generate 4,000 megawatts. Nigeria that was distributing over 5,000 megawatts of electricity. And some of these industries, some of these manufacturing companies, back then, they were not spending over 60% of their own resources on generating power. Today, so many of them can't cope anymore because of the cost of running their businesses in that same contraption. But they keep telling everybody the ease of doing business, ease of doing business. There is no ease of doing business in that place. Businesses are dying. There is evidence of that. All this money they are taking from everywhere, they're not even investing them in the critical sectors like power. We all know the destruction that they have done to your power sector in Nigeria, especially the Boko Haram terrorists up north. These guys were having a chat around that. Collapsed the national grid, left, right, and center. Listen to this one.
It's quite unfortunate. I have concurred with what Professor Oke said. We need to look at the grid holistically and see what measures we can take to strengthen it and to stabilize it. It's not easy to say that we are going to fragment it immediately. We still need the grid because certain parts of the country are still not in a position to have suitable network in terms of transmission and distribution. So if you say you're going to regionalize it, those other sectors of the country or regions of the country will definitely suffer. Generation is lopsided. It is mostly in the southern part of the country. We have here in the north, we don't have adequate generation, so there is always voltage issues there. We know when stability of power depends on voltage and frequency, which has to be in a predetermined limit. What we are just experienced on Thursday is a result of the frequency shootout to over the limit allowed. And what TCN said is because power is not being evacuated. Of course, there are also other scenarios when there is inadequate, some people call it rejection of load from distribution companies. For some obvious reasons, they could not take the allocated power. But I know in Abuja, we are always hungry for power. We take even more than what we are allocated. But be that as it may be, I think we need to look at the transmission infrastructure and see what reforms can be done to quickly reverse the trend that is happening. I'm happy to say that the split of TCN into TSP, Transmission Service Provider, and Nigerian Independent System Operation will go a long way in apportioning specific functions for the two companies. The issue of grid stability is mostly going to be the responsibility of the Nigerian Independent System Operator, because it's responsible for dispatch of power from a generation station to the end users, and ensuring that also the liquidity function of the industry is sustained, such that generation companies will be able to get their own portion of that revenue to satisfy the gas demand. And we know the gas companies now, there's a lot of debt which federal government is trying to come in to solve, but we don't want that to start to be accumulating. We want a situation whereby power that is generated is properly paid for by customers, and all stakeholders in the industry are being paid for the services they render. So transmission, being still part of the government, has to be reinforced in a number of ways. I know there's a lot of plan to expand the grid, to make the lines ringed instead of being radial in nature. Problems we are having of lack of supply in part of the northern states is a result of the only lines linking Kano and Kaduna to Shiroro, which have fallen. If we have another side of it from Kainji through Sokoto, 330 kV, that would have provided a loop. So we will not only rely on the Ogaji, Enugu-Jos line, which is supplying not enough to these northern states. We will have a better form of supply. So I think that kind of redundancy must be provided by TCN. Another fundamental thing which also is missing, I'm happy to say something is being done, is the SCADA.
I don't want you to probably listen to all the nonsense, but I intentionally kind of share that with us, okay? In 8 years, Bukwari destroyed Nigeria. Sote, the northern Nigeria, is the most hit. Before Bukwari, the old Kainji Dam was generating over 1,000 megawatts of electricity. There's another one called Shiroro Dam in Niger State. Shiroro Dam was also generating over like 1,000 megawatts as well. Steady. Then Boko Haram started. Boko Haram guys, they constantly, right, bomb that Shiroro, bomb everything around it, destroy the infrastructure all the time. Bukwari couldn't, for the sake of northern Nigeria, protect those infrastructures. For the sake of northern Nigeria. Obasanjo started about 11 independent power stations.